Yesterday, we looked at a quick video on how to compile your vocal takes. Now that we've compiled our vocal takes, we want to dive into the same exact session and we're going to start tuning them. I'm going to be using Melodyne, but the same principles really apply for any tuning software that you might use. So let's dive in. We have our song here again, and we're going to start tuning these vocals. And so we've already comped them into the takes that I want. Pretty similar process. I'm going to just mute everything except for the main ones that I'm working on at the moment. And then I'm going to slowly bring in each one as I tune it. So the first step is to pull up your tuning plugin of choice. I like to use Melodyne. That's Vocaline. Now we have Melodyne. I'm going to transfer this in here. And let's go. So now I have it transferred into Melodyne. I'm going to go in here, and the first thing I'm going to do is use some macros. So just to save myself a lot of time, I go in here to the edit function, go to the macros, and correct pitch. So this is going to impact every single note in the performance. For a lead vocal, I'm probably going to do this around 80-85%, just because I want to correct most of it, but I don't want it to be perfect because that's going to sound unnatural. So I'm going to go most of the way, but not all the way. And then I'm going to also do the pitch drift about the same. That just keeps anything, so especially long notes might try to go off a little bit, they running out of air, so they'll go flat, for example. So that'll help just keep those longer notes in check. And okay. And so now that I have that, I'm going to go through and listen to it, and I'm going to adjust anything that is now incorrect based on what either pulled it out of place, the Melodyne did, or if there's just other things that were dramatically off, so Melodyne couldn't really catch it. Let's go through and do that now. Okay, so this is pretty good overall. I don't really feel like I need to adjust too much. I don't like to be too heavy-handed because there's some spots that are a little questionable you could adjust, but I prefer to err on the side of keeping it more natural, so that I don't crush the humanness out of it. So the one thing I might adjust this one, separate that. All right, that sounds pretty good to me. So let's move on to the next one. Oh, and I missed a step. All right, so I do this sometimes. When you're doing the macros, after you correct the pitch, also do note leveling. So what this is going to do is keep our dynamics in check a little bit more. It's going to bring up the quiet notes and bring down the loud notes just so everything's a little bit more even. I generally do this around 30% or so. With harmony vocals, I'll generally go a little bit more aggressive. I'll do maybe 40%. But this is really helpful in not necessarily the tuning phase, but it's really helpful in the mixing phase because now my dynamics are already in check a little bit more, and I don't have to go through and do as much manual automation prior to compressing the vocals. So this is a huge time saver to do that. So don't forget to do that like I do sometimes. All right, so let's go to the second vocal again and start adjusting the macros. And that concludes my tuning. The last thing I'm gonna do before I quit here is I'm actually gonna bounce all of these in place. So this is printing both the Melodyne tuning as well as the comping that I've already done. So we're pretty close to done here. We just got one more step after I bounce all these. Hey, so I really hope you enjoyed that quick video on how to edit your vocals in terms of tuning. So tomorrow we're going to go over timing and how to edit the timing of vocals using Melodyne. If you're interested in learning how one of my clients got hundreds of thousands of streams on Spotify and an indie film sync placement, then you can go to my website, dinosaurdogstudio.com, to check that out. All right, that being said, I hope you have a great day.